Greetings, dear friends. Today, we invite you to step into a story that echoes through the ages, a tale of giants, warriors, and the unwavering power of faith. Beyond the familiar scene of young David triumphing over Goliath lies an epic saga, one filled with untold battles, profound courage, and divine intervention that shaped the destiny of a nation. In this journey, we delve deeper into the aftermath of Goliath's fall, exploring the fierce confrontations with his equally fearsome brothers. These are stories of loyalty, resilience, and the steadfast belief in a higher purpose. They remind us that the greatest battles are not always fought with weapons, but with trust, unity, and the unshakable conviction that light can overcome darkness. Let us walk together through the valleys of history and faith, discovering the timeless lessons that continue to inspire and empower us today. So, settle in and prepare to be captivated by a narrative that is as thrilling as it is meaningful. This is not just history, it is a beacon of hope for every challenge we face, a testament that even the smallest among us can overcome the greatest giants when guided by faith. The story of Goliath, an enduring narrative of courage and faith, begins not merely on the battlefield of the Valley of Elah, but in the fabric of a history steeped in rebellion, divine intervention, and the inexplicable presence of giants. Goliath, the most renowned of these giants, was more than a formidable warrior. He was a symbol of defiance and a living remnant of an ancient, corrupted lineage that challenged the very order of creation. To understand Goliath, we must first delve into the enigmatic origins of his bloodline. The Nephilim, referenced briefly in Genesis 6:4, were described as heroes of old, men of renown. These giants were the offspring of the sons of God and the daughters of men, a union that defied divine boundaries. Many interpretations suggest that the sons of God were fallen angels who, in their rebellion against heaven, sought to corrupt humanity by intermingling with mortals. The result of this forbidden union was the birth of beings who were not only physically imposing but also morally and spiritually corrupt. Their immense size and unparalleled strength enabled the Nephilim to dominate early civilizations, spreading violence and chaos. Their actions were so egregious that they were one of the reasons God sent the great flood to cleanse the earth of such corruption. Yet, as the biblical narrative unfolds, some Nephilim seemingly survived, or their traits persisted, reappearing in the lineage of figures like Goliath and his brothers. These beings were not merely physical anomalies, they were manifestations of rebellion, a direct affront to the divine order. Their presence on earth served as a grim reminder of humanity's susceptibility to corruption and the cosmic struggle between good and evil. The emergence of Goliath, therefore, was not an isolated event, but part of a larger narrative of defiance against divine authority. Centuries after the flood, the Nephilim's legacy surfaced in Gath, a Philistine city notorious for its warriors. Goliath, the eldest of his siblings, stood as a towering figure, literally and symbolically. His height, recorded as 6 cubits and a span, approximately 9 feet 9 inches, made him a colossus among men. Clad in armor weighing over 125 pounds and wielding a spear with a shaft like a weaver's beam, he epitomized an indomitable force. Goliath's armor was more than a protective layer, it was a symbol of invincibility. The bronze helmet, the heavy greaves, and the massive shield carried by his shield-bearer all reinforced his image as an unassailable champion. His spear, with an iron point weighing approximately 15 pounds, was a weapon of extraordinary power, designed to instill fear and demonstrate his dominance. But Goliath's significance went beyond his physical prowess. He was a living reminder of the Nephilim's lingering influence, a relic of a rebellious past that continued to defy the chosen people of God. For 40 days, Goliath stood before the Israelite army, taunting them and their God. challenging anyone brave enough to engage him in single combat. His booming voice echoed through the valley, and his arrogance grew unchecked as no Israelite dared to step forward. The Philistines, emboldened by Goliath's presence, saw him as the ultimate weapon, a warrior who could decide the fate of nations through a single duel. This practice of representative combat, while not uncommon in ancient times, took on a unique gravity in the hands of Goliath, whose sheer presence seemed to guarantee victory. In stark contrast to Goliath stood David, a shepherd boy from Bethlehem. Young, unarmed, and seemingly insignificant, David's life revolved around tending his father's sheep. Yet beneath his humble exterior lay a heart burning with faith and courage. David's journey to the battlefield began as a simple errand. His father, Jesse, sent him to deliver food to his brothers, who were soldiers in Saul's army. David's arrival at the battlefield coincided with one of Goliath's daily taunts. The sight of the Israelite army paralyzed by fear left an indelible impression on the young shepherd. To him, the true battle was not between two armies, but between faith and defiance. The contrast could not have been starker: a giant clad in armor, defying the living God, and a young boy armed with nothing but unwavering trust in divine providence. Upon his arrival at the battlefield, David witnessed Goliath's audacious defiance and the fear it instilled in the Israelite ranks. The sight of his countrymen cowering before a blasphemous giant enraged David. To him, Goliath's challenge was not merely a physical threat, but a spiritual affront against the God of Israel. "Who is this uncircumcised Philistine," David exclaimed, "that he should defy the armies of the living God?" 1 Samuel 17:26. David's words reached King Saul, who was desperate for a solution to the Philistine threat. Initially skeptical, Saul dismissed David as too young and inexperienced to face Goliath. However, David's recounting of his encounters with lions and bears while protecting his flock revealed a deeper truth. His courage was rooted not in his abilities, but in his faith. "The Lord who delivered me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will deliver me from the hand of this Philistine," David asserted, 1 Samuel 17:37. Convinced by David's conviction, Saul offered his own armor to the young shepherd. However, David declined, finding the heavy armor cumbersome and unfamiliar. Instead, he chose to rely on the tools he knew best: a staff, a sling, and 5 smooth stones from a nearby stream. Armed with these humble weapons and his unyielding trust in God, David approached the battlefield. David's decision to reject Saul's armor was more than a practical choice. It was a profound statement about authenticity and trust. He chose to fight not with the tools of a soldier, but with the skills honed during his years as a shepherd. This act underscored a fundamental lesson. True strength lies in faith and self-belief, not in borrowed means or outward appearances. As he moved forward, every step carried the weight of both uncertainty and faith. The collective fear of the Israelite army bore down on David's shoulders, yet his resolve did not waver. His youthful optimism, coupled with his unyielding belief in divine providence, propelled him forward. The image of the young shepherd, clutching nothing but a sling and a pouch of stones, painted a stark contrast to the towering figure of Goliath. The confrontation between David and Goliath was not merely a clash of two individuals, but a collision of worldviews. On one side stood Goliath, the embodiment of brute strength, arrogance, and the legacy of rebellion. On the other stood David, representing faith, humility, and the power of divine providence. As David approached, Goliath scoffed at the sight of a mere boy armed with a staff. "Am I a dog that you come to me with sticks?" he bellowed, cursing David by the gods of the Philistines, 1 Samuel 17:43. But David, undeterred, responded with a declaration that would echo through the annals of history. You come to me with a sword, a spear, and a javelin. But I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. 1 Samuel 17:45. This moment was pivotal. It was not merely David's defiance of Goliath, but his unwavering proclamation of faith that set the tone for the battle. The battlefield transformed into a stage for a spiritual contest, where divine power would ultimately prevail over human arrogance. This encounter, though brief, offers profound lessons that transcend time. First, it highlights the power of faith over fear. David's confidence was not rooted in his abilities, but in his trust in God's deliverance. His victory serves as a reminder that challenges, no matter how insurmountable they seem, can be overcome when faced with faith. Second, the story underscores the importance of authenticity. David's refusal to wear Saul's armor symbolizes the value of staying true to oneself. He fought not with borrowed tools, but with the skills and resources he had honed as a shepherd. Finally, the narrative reveals the futility of arrogance. Goliath's downfall was not due to a lack of strength, but his underestimation of David, and more importantly, his defiance of the living God. His defeat illustrates that true power lies not in physical might, but in alignment with divine will. The battle between David and Goliath was more than a physical contest. It was a spiritual war. Goliath's lineage, his armor, and his arrogance represented the enduring defiance against divine order. David's victory, achieved with a simple sling and stone, was a testament to God's supremacy and a foreshadowing of the ultimate triumph of good over evil. As the stone flew from David's sling, striking Goliath's forehead, the giant's massive frame collapsed to the ground. The Philistine champion's defeat sent shockwaves through both armies. The Israelites, emboldened by David's victory, pursued the fleeing Philistines, securing a decisive triumph. The story does not merely highlight the battle, but also invites reflection on its broader spiritual implications. Goliath's presence symbolized the remnants of a corrupt lineage that defied God's order. David's faith and courage reaffirmed the power of divine justice and the victory of light over darkness. This story continues to resonate, reminding us that faith, when paired with action, can overcome any obstacle, no matter how daunting. David's actions also emphasize the ripple effects of courage. His faith inspired an entire army to rise and conquer their fear, turning a moment of hesitation into a resounding victory. This ripple effect serves as a reminder of how one individual's trust in a higher power can transform the destiny of many, reinforcing the timeless truth that with God, even the smallest among us can achieve the extraordinary. The fall of Goliath was not merely the end of one man, but the catalyst for a transformation within Israel. As the Philistine giant's massive frame collapsed to the ground, a new chapter began, one marked by a renewed sense of hope, unity, and divine purpose among the Israelites. Yet this victory was just the beginning of a series of profound challenges, spiritual revelations, and battles that would shape the nation's destiny and redefine the very concept of faith. The defeat of Goliath sent shockwaves through the Israelite and Philistine armies. For the Israelites, it was a moment of divine vindication, a testimony that their God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, was alive and powerful. The sight of David, a mere shepherd boy, standing victorious over the fearsome giant, stirred something deep within the hearts of the soldiers. Fear gave way to courage, hesitation turned into action, and despair was replaced by hope. This collective awakening propelled the Israelite army forward. Emboldened by David's triumph, they surged toward the Philistines, chasing them back to the gates of their cities and plundering their camps. The battlefield, once a stage for mockery and intimidation, now became a testament to the power of faith and unity. However, the ripple effects of David's victory extended far beyond the battlefield. Within the Israelite camp, there was a renewed sense of purpose and identity. The soldiers, who had once been paralyzed by fear, began to see themselves as participants in a divine plan. This shift in perspective laid the groundwork for Israel's future victories and solidified David's role as a leader chosen by God. With Goliath's head in hand, David was brought before King Saul. The young shepherd's bravery and faith were undeniable, and his actions quickly earned him a place in the hearts of the people. Songs of celebration echoed through the towns and villages of Israel, with women singing, "Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands." 1 Samuel 18:7. This public adulation marked a turning point in David's life. No longer was he merely the youngest son of Jesse, tending sheep in the hills of Bethlehem. He had become a symbol of hope, a living embodiment of faith, and a figure who challenged conventional notions of power and authority. David's rise to prominence, however, also sowed the seeds of jealousy and tension within Saul, leading to a complex and tumultuous relationship that would define much of David's early years. David's victory over Goliath was not a mere stroke of luck or the result of superior skill. It was an undeniable demonstration of divine providence. The seemingly impossible odds, a boy with a sling against a giant clad in armor, served to highlight God's intervention and the principle that victory comes not through human strength, but through faith in Him. This theme of divine providence echoed throughout the history of Israel. The Israelites' survival and victories were consistently tied to their faithfulness to God. In the story of David and Goliath, this principle was vividly illustrated. David's reliance on God's power, rather than his own abilities, set a precedent for future leaders and reinforced the idea that God's will prevails over human plans. The broader implications of this victory extended to the nation's understanding of their covenant with God. It reminded them that their success as a people depended on their faith and obedience rather than their numbers or military prowess. This lesson, though often forgotten in moments of complacency, would resurface time and again in Israel's history. For the Philistines, Goliath's death was more than a military loss. It was a blow to their confidence and their belief in their gods. Goliath had been their champion, a figure whose strength and presence embodied their dominance. His defeat at the hands of an Israelite boy not only humiliated their army, but also cast doubt on the power of their deities. The Philistines' retreat marked the beginning of a shift in the balance of power between the two nations. While they would continue to clash with Israel in the years to come, Goliath's fall signaled a turning point. The psychological impact of losing their greatest warrior could not be overstated. It eroded their morale and left them vulnerable to subsequent defeats. The spoils of battle often carried symbolic significance, and Goliath's armor and weapons were no exception. David took Goliath's head to Jerusalem and placed the giant's weapons in his own tent. 1 Samuel 17:54. These items were not merely trophies. They were tangible reminders of God's power and the victory that faith had secured. In later years, the memory of Goliath's defeat would serve as an enduring source of inspiration for the Israelites. The weapons and armor became symbols of divine intervention and a testament to the fact that even the mightiest foes could be brought low by God's hand. For David, these relics likely held personal significance, reminding him of the day his faith had triumphed over fear. The story of David and Goliath is as much about the internal battle between fear and faith as it is about the physical confrontation on the battlefield. Fear had immobilized the Israelite army, rendering them incapable of action. Goliath's size, strength, and confidence had created an aura of invincibility that overshadowed their belief in God's promises. David's arrival disrupted this narrative. His unwavering faith in God and his refusal to be intimidated by Goliath's taunts challenged the army's perception of the situation. By stepping forward, David not only defeated the giant, but also shattered the psychological stronghold that fear had built. This shift in mindset had far-reaching implications. It demonstrated that courage rooted in faith could overcome even the most paralyzing fears. It also highlighted the importance of perspective. Goliath's size and strength were insignificant when viewed through the lens of God's sovereignty. David's victory was not achieved in isolation. While he faced Goliath alone, the support and acknowledgement of his community played a crucial role in amplifying the impact of his actions. The Israelites' response to David's courage, their collective surge against the Philistines, underscored the power of a united community rallying behind a shared purpose. This dynamic also highlighted the importance of leadership. David's willingness to step forward and trust in God set an example for others to follow. His actions demonstrated that true leadership is not about authority or titles, but about inspiring others through faith and courage. The story of Goliath's fall holds lessons that extend far beyond the battlefield. It is a tale of transformation, of a fearful and fragmented people becoming a united and purposeful nation. David's faith acted as a catalyst for change, igniting a movement that reshaped Israel's identity and reinforced their covenant with God. This transformation was not limited to the soldiers who fought alongside David. It also influenced the generations that followed, providing a narrative of hope and resilience. The story of David and Goliath became a foundational part of Israel's cultural and spiritual heritage, inspiring countless individuals to face their own giants with courage and faith. While David's victory brought immediate relief and celebration, it also set the stage for new challenges. His growing popularity and success began to overshadow King Saul, creating tensions that would ultimately lead to a dramatic power struggle. Saul's jealousy and paranoia would shape much of David's journey, forcing him to navigate the complexities of leadership, loyalty, and divine calling. In the broader narrative, Goliath's fall marked the beginning of David's ascent. It was a moment that solidified his role as God's chosen leader and set the stage for his eventual kingship. However, it also foreshadowed the trials and tribulations that lay ahead, reminding us that great victories often come with great responsibilities. The story of Goliath's fall continues to resonate because it speaks to universal themes of courage, faith, and perseverance. It challenges us to confront our own giants, those seemingly insurmountable obstacles that test our resolve and faith. It also reminds us that true strength comes not from external factors, but from a deep and abiding trust in something greater than ourselves. David's actions encourage us to step forward in the face of fear, to trust in our unique abilities, and to believe that even the smallest among us can make a profound impact. His victory over Goliath serves as a timeless reminder that faith, when paired with action, has the power to transform not only individual lives, but entire communities and nations. As we delve deeper into the next phases of David's journey, we will see how this foundational moment shaped his character, influenced his decisions, and prepared him for the challenges yet to come. The ripple effects of Goliath's fall were far-reaching, touching every aspect of Israelite life and leaving an indelible mark on the nation's history. David's journey from a humble shepherd to a national hero demonstrates how individual acts of faith can ripple outward, inspiring communities and reshaping nations. Each victory, no matter how small, reinforces the idea that courage and trust in divine guidance can transform fear into action and uncertainty into triumph. Through his story, we are reminded that our own battles, while daunting, are never faced alone when guided by faith. The defeat of Goliath was only the beginning of a series of confrontations that tested Israel's courage and faith. The giant's fall sparked not only a transformation within the nation, but also a chain of events that brought to light the enduring struggle between the forces of light and darkness. While Goliath symbolized an immediate threat, his death revealed the deeper roots of defiance in the Philistine strongholds. These roots manifested in his brothers, equally formidable giants who sought revenge and dominance. This chapter delves into the fierce battles that followed, the rise of David as a warrior king, and the spiritual lessons drawn from Israel's continued triumphs. The scriptures introduce us to Goliath's brothers, Ishbi-Benob, Saph, Lami, and an unnamed giant, who were direct descendants of the Nephilim. Each carried the legacy of their lineage in both stature and strength, embodying the lingering defiance against the divine order. These brothers represented not only a physical challenge, but also a spiritual opposition to Israel's covenant with God. Ishbi-Benob. The first of Goliath's brothers to take up arms against Israel, Ishbi-Benob is described as a warrior equipped with a spear weighing 300 shekels of bronze and a newly forged sword. His primary target was none other than David himself. During one of the Philistine wars, David grew weary in battle, and Ishbi-Benob seized the opportunity to attack. With his weapon poised to kill, Ishbi-Benob seemed certain of victory. However, Abishai, one of David's loyal warriors, intervened, striking down the giant and saving David's life. This act not only demonstrated the loyalty and courage of David's men, but also underscored the importance of divine timing and intervention. The encounter with Ishbi-Benob also revealed David's human vulnerability. Though celebrated as a hero and king, David's weariness in battle highlighted the limitations of even the most divinely favored leaders. This moment underscored the importance of a loyal and faithful community, as Abishai's intervention was as much a testament to teamwork as it was to divine providence. Saph. Another of Goliath's brothers, Saph was known for his brute strength and fearlessness in combat. He met his end in a battle at Gob, where Sibbecai the Hushathite, one of David's mighty warriors, confronted and killed him. Saph's defeat not only demonstrated individual valor, but also reinforced the strategic importance of Gob as a contested region. The battle at Gob became emblematic of Israel's determination to secure their borders against persistent Philistine incursions. Saph's imposing presence on the battlefield was a reminder of the lingering influence of the Nephilim. Yet his defeat by a single warrior symbolized the triumph of divine purpose over sheer physical power. Sibbecai's victory was celebrated not only for its military significance, but also as a spiritual affirmation of God's protection over his chosen people. Lami, identified as the brother of Goliath, Lami wielded a spear with a shaft likened to a weaver's beam. His death at the hands of Elhanan, a Bethlehemite, further illustrated the resilience and determination of Israel's warriors. The confrontation with Lami was particularly significant because it showcased the next generation of fighters stepping into roles of leadership and bravery. Elhanan's victory demonstrated the importance of continuity in Israel's military and spiritual legacy. As a fellow Bethlehemite, Elhanan's connection to David underscored the shared heritage of courage and faith that united Israel's warriors. The imagery of the weaver's beam, a sturdy tool repurposed as a deadly weapon, highlighted the creative ingenuity of Israel's fighters and their ability to adapt under pressure. The unnamed giant. Perhaps the most mysterious of Goliath's siblings, this giant was noted for his physical anomaly, 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot. This deformity marked him as a true remnant of the Nephilim lineage. He was ultimately defeated by Jonathan, the son of Shemaiah and nephew of David, during yet another confrontation with the Philistines. Jonathan's victory over the unnamed giant represented the culmination of Israel's campaign to eliminate the Nephilim influence. The younger generation's involvement in these battles symbolized a passing of the torch, ensuring that the legacy of faith and courage would endure. Jonathan's bravery mirrored David's earlier triumph, reinforcing the enduring power of divine guidance and familial solidarity. The battles against Goliath's brothers were not fought by David alone. They were a testament to the strength and loyalty of his mighty men, a group of elite warriors who stood by him through every trial. Each member of this brotherhood brought unique skills and unwavering dedication to the cause, embodying the spirit of unity and faith. Abishai. As one of David's closest allies, Abishai's intervention during David's near-fatal encounter with Ishbi-Benob was pivotal. His courage and quick action saved the king and ensured the continuity of Israel's leadership. Sibbecai. Known for his valor, Sibbecai's defeat of Saph highlighted the role of individual bravery within the larger context of Israel's military campaigns. Elhanan. The slayer of Lami. Elhanan's contribution underscored the collective effort required to secure victory over the Philistines. Jonathan. The nephew of David. Jonathan's triumph over the unnamed giant demonstrated the next generation's readiness to uphold the legacy of faith and courage. Together, these warriors not only protected Israel, but also reinforced the principle that true strength lies in unity and reliance on God. Their victories were not isolated incidents, but part of a broader narrative of divine faithfulness and communal solidarity. While the physical confrontations were awe-inspiring, the battles against Goliath's brothers carried profound spiritual significance. Each victory served as a reminder of God's sovereignty and the fulfillment of His promises to protect and deliver His people. The eradication of fear. The continued defeat of the giants dismantled the psychological stronghold that fear had over Israel. With each victory, the Israelites grew more confident in their identity as God's chosen people. The triumph of faith. These battles underscored the principle that faith in God's power outweighs physical strength or strategic advantage. The warriors of Israel triumphed not because of their own abilities, but because of their unwavering trust in divine intervention. The renewal of the covenant. The eradication of the Nephilim lineage symbolized a renewal of Israel's covenant with God. It was a physical manifestation of God's promise to deliver His people from their enemies and establish them in the land He had given them. The annihilation of Goliath's brothers was not only a strategic victory, but also an act of divine justice. The Nephilim lineage represented rebellion, corruption, and defiance of God's natural order. By defeating these giants, Israel reaffirmed its role as the chosen people, tasked with upholding the divine order. These battles were a vivid reminder that God's justice prevails over the forces of chaos and defiance, reinforcing the nation's faith and commitment. The legacy of these battles extended far beyond the immediate victories. They became a source of inspiration for future generations, teaching timeless lessons about courage, faith, and the power of divine guidance. The importance of leadership. David's role as both a warrior and a leader demonstrated the impact of faith-driven leadership. His reliance on God set a standard for those who would follow in his footsteps. The power of community. The collective efforts of David and his mighty men illustrated the strength found in unity and mutual support. The endurance of faith. The story of these battles encouraged future Israelites to remain steadfast in their faith, even in the face of overwhelming odds. The defeat of Goliath's brothers marked the end of an era dominated by the fear of giants. It was a turning point in Israel's history, paving the way for a period of relative peace and the establishment of David's reign as king. However, the lessons of these battles continued to resonate, shaping the nation's identity and reinforcing their reliance on God. As David ascended to the throne, he carried with him the experiences and lessons of these encounters. The victories over the giants were not merely military achievements, but milestones in Israel's spiritual journey. They reminded the nation that their strength came not from their own might, but from their relationship with God. The story of David and Goliath, along with the subsequent battles against Goliath's brothers, is more than a historical account. It is a testament to the enduring power of faith, the importance of unity, and the triumph of good over evil. These narratives continue to inspire, reminding us that no obstacle is too great when faced with courage and trust in God. As we reflect on these stories, we are challenged to apply their lessons to our own lives. Like David and his warriors, we are called to confront our own giants, whether they be fears, doubts, or external challenges, with unwavering faith and determination. Through their example, we learn that victory is not achieved through physical strength alone, but through the power of belief and the support of a faithful community. The battles beyond Goliath serve as a powerful conclusion to the saga of Israel's triumph over the forces of defiance. They remind us that while the giants may fall, the true victory lies in the transformation of a people who choose faith over fear and unity over division. This legacy, passed down through generations, continues to shape the story of humanity's enduring struggle and ultimate triumph through faith. The resonance of these stories in modern contexts is profound. Whether facing personal challenges or communal trials, the narrative of David and his warriors reminds us that courage and unity, guided by faith, can overcome even the most formidable obstacles. In the end, it is not the size of the giants that defines us, but the strength of our faith and the resolve to fight for what is just and true. The symbolism of these victories extends further, serving as a beacon for those in leadership roles today. Leaders inspired by faith, like David, must understand that the heart of true power lies in service, humility, and reliance on divine guidance. The giants of fear and division, whether personal or societal, can only be defeated when individuals rise together, committed to a shared vision grounded in faith and perseverance. Through this lens, the story of David and the Nephilim's defeat becomes a timeless reminder of humanity's potential to achieve greatness when aligned with higher principles. Thank you for embarking on this incredible journey with us. The story of David and the giants is more than an ancient chronicle. It is a living reminder of humanity's courage, the power of unity, and the enduring strength of faith. These battles show us that no challenge is insurmountable when faced with determination and trust in a higher purpose. We hope these tales have stirred your spirit and sparked inspiration for your own life's battles. We'd love to hear from you. Share your reflections, thoughts, and personal takeaways in the comments below. Let's continue this dialogue together, drawing strength from these timeless stories. If you enjoyed this exploration, please support us by subscribing to our channel and clicking the notification bell. It ensures you'll be among the first to join us for the next chapter of our biblical deep dives. Together, let's uncover the wisdom of the past to illuminate the path forward. Thank you for being part of this journey. We'll see you in the next episode.